Hello, good morning. You are welcome to My Name for the Truth. My name is Joseph Atta. I recorded live from Ghana, West Africa, Second Itaprade to be precise. My Name for the Truth refers to the process of digging to discover the undiluted doctrines of Christ. Now, purposes of the page include 1. To share the truth, John 17:17, John 8:32, John 14 verse 6. 2. To share the word, John 1 verse 1 and Genesis 1 verse 1. All right, I attend Church of Christ, and for about 3 days ago or 4 days ago, we've been studying the Beatitudes in Matthew 5 verse 3 to 10, 13 and 14. I welcome all my viewers, my commentators, my listeners, and everybody. I thank you so much for making the time to join me live from Australia, Dubai, USA, and everywhere in Ghana. Yes, thank you so much. I had a brother who donated. Yeah, he gave something to help do God's work. I'm so grateful, and God will reward you. In fact, that's not to say that if you don't donate, God is not going to reward you. If you want to call or chat or donate, number is 0248 026557. 0248 026557. So you can chat, you can call, or you can donate. I welcome my first viewer. I thank you, sister. I've been doing so much. I thank you for your time. All right. So basically, I'm going to continue. I don't want to waste time. Yesterday, we looked at Matthew 5 verse 6. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. So our emphasis was on blessed are those who hunger and thirst, or the hungry and thirsty. We ended that being the episode 4. Now we are beginning the 5th episode today in Matthew 5 verse 7. So we can turn our Bible to Matthew 5 verse 7. Of course, I'm reading from the 21st century Revised King James Version. Blessed are the merciful, for they will obtain mercy. So let's take from the ESV version. This one says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. So we have shall receive mercy and then will obtain mercy. I think I've explained the will and shall a lot, but by way of remembrance, God does not contradict himself, and the Bible does not contradict themselves as well. We have grammar, we have synonyms and then antonyms. So basically, the New Testament is using will, and then the Old and New. The King James Version, the New King James Version is using will, and then the ESV version is using shall. Will and shall are once again auxiliary verbs, and they are pointing to the future or the futurity. So they all refer to future. Will and shall, they are all representing the same thing. Will obtain, shall obtain, they are all the same. So basically, auxiliary verbs. And an auxiliary verb is a verb which add or offer a support. So the adjective auxiliary means offering support or to provide support. So the will and shall should not be confusing you that the Bible is contradicting itself. Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm sorry. All right. So having said that, we start our introduction. Blessed or blessed are the merciful. We are learning living for Jesus. It's our topic, living for Jesus. And the theme is the Beatitudes. So today we are on episode 5 I will treat up to episode 10. So today we come to the half session of the teachings. It is so broad, in fact, so broad and wide. But I'm trying my best. It is not easy. I'm trying my best. So blessed are the merciful. Matthew 5, verse 9. Now let's start with the introduction. Now before I come to the introduction, there's something that you must know. Maybe it has a linkage to being merciful. Now if you're a parent, or let's say you are a sibling, you are the elder sibling, so you are in the home with your family. So I will use the parent and then the child. You see, sometimes the child may offend you or may exhibit some unusual behavior. And of course, as a parent, you see it to be insubordination. So you tend to punish the child. That is not what you must be doing always. Now, as you grow, if you're a parent, you must accept that your children will be angry with you. You must know all these things in terms of the parenthood or the parenting. They're not going to like you forever, no matter how perfect you are. So you must accept that for some time, they will be angry with you. They will show some kind of disrespect. Now, when the child shows this disrespect, you are tempted to punish him or her. But it is wrong. By learning about mercy. Now, I am saying that you must see it as a challenge in which she is not or he is not able to overcome. I'm saying the person is growing. So as he or she grows. Now, when we are saying that the young is taking over the old, no matter how current you are, so far as you are aging, there's no way you can match with your children. For example, you're a professor, and your ward is now doing maybe a diploma or a first degree. The child sees him or herself to be in reign than you. Though you are a professor, sometimes when you speak, he or she will not mind you. I mean, you have to accept it, that it is a challenge in the child. So you have to help him or her to overcome it. So we don't always punish children for insubordination or disrespect. For example, talking back at you and others. No. All this falls under, or they fall under mercy. You show the person mercy. And with time, because you are merciful, you see that your temper will be down. Yes, once you have mercy in you, and you do not normally react in anger. Your child has disrespected you, and then immediately you want to cane or even slap the person. But if you have shown mercy, it means your temper has come down. You will later understand that no, as the child is growing, he or she is going to internalize him or herself with the society. So what he is doing is not something new. So just accommodate and you correct her or him. That's all. All right. So introduction number 1, or the A. Now, during the time of Jesus, the Greeks and Romans despised mercy. So to them, mercy was a sign of weakness. So the Greeks and Romans, they didn't practice mercy. They saw it to be a sign of weakness. Now, let's go to our renowned philosopher, Aristotle. He described pity or mercy as a troublesome emotion. So you can imagine. I mean, our renowned philosopher, he saw mercy to be a trouble or troublesome emotion. Now, the Roman philosopher described mercy as a disease of the soul. All these are showing abhorrence of mercy. Now, this Roman philosopher, he described mercy as a disease of the soul. That was the cultural climate in which Jesus preached the Sermon on the Mount. And surprisingly, he said, blessed or blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Matthew 5 verse 7. So you can imagine. An anonymous author has said, throughout history, enemies were shown no mercy. The only good enemy was the dead one, or the dead enemy. Now, why is he saying this? For example, someone almost killed you, and by intervention of the neighbors or any police reinforcement, this person has been arrested. Now, sometimes they want to settle the issue home. But of course, you can allow the law to take its course. But here we're saying that in case you are asked that we want to give him 20 years, but if you will sign or pardon him, you can give him 10 years. And some will sign for the 20 years and some will sign for the 10 years. All because we are uncertain if this person will return to come and continue the crime that he committed or not. So that's why this person, the man here was saying that the only good enemy was the one who was dead. So when he dies, then you are free. And then your freedom is assured. So he means to say that the enemy must be killed or must be completely eliminated. Then you will be at peace. But if you continue to exist, then he can come back to continue. And of course, it is true. We have most prisoners, they are bailed. They go and then commit a crime. Then they return to their cells again. So that one is agreeable. But we're not going to accept it here. Because here we are dealing with the wisdom literature from Jesus Christ and not what the world has proposed. It was unthinkable to show mercy to an enemy. There's no sense in it. I mean, to the worldly sense of view, there's no sense in it showing mercy to your enemy. There's no sense in this. So they say it to be in the form of weakness. Now, millions of people in the world today feel the same way. Yes, we all think the same. We all think. That's why I'm saying that. James 1 verse 5 is saying, if you need wisdom, ask God. And by asking God is by reading the Bible. If not the Bible, Archbishop Atta wouldn't know a lot. But by studying the Bible is when you know a lot. I've been saying that if you have a child who is going to school, who is traveling outside, the person is leaving your home, you must teach this child living for Jesus, precisely the Beatitudes. Matthew 5 verse 3 to 10, 13 and 14. I found it so interesting that all why we exist fall there. All right. So millions of people in the world, they feel the same way, that we shouldn't pardon the enemy. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So to them, mercy is a sign of weakness. Mercy is a sign of weakness. It means you are weak. You are weak. When you forgive your enemy, it means you are weak. Jesus challenged the cultural norms when he spoke of mercy as a virtue or as a virtue. He saw mercy to be a virtue. Mercy is seen as weakness by the world. What is the world? By Satan. Satan always wants vengeance. So to him, there's no way that the enemy should be pardoned. Now B, still on the introduction. To show mercy to a friend enemy, foe, or wicked person is actually the biggest test. To show mercy to a friend enemy, foe, or wicked person is actually the biggest test. When we say friend enemy, we mean a person who pretends to be a friend, but he is the actual enemy. For example, Samson and then Delilah. So Delilah was a frenemy to Samson. She was the person to kill Samson or to entice him into sin. She misled him from God. So Delilah becomes a frenemy. So frenemy is a person who appears to be a friend, but he or she is the real enemy. The person who will send you to your grave. And here, that's why we're saying that showing mercy or to show mercy to a frenemy, a foe. When we say a foe, we mean your opposition or your oppressor, someone who is against you, or wicked person, someone who is so wicked. It's our biggest test. Yeah, biggest test. So we move on. We now come to the first big test in the 5th Beatitude, which provides a test that reveals how serious we are about wanting to do the will of God. One has two choices. The will of God. Ephesians 5 verse 17. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand the will of the Lord, the will of God. And here I've placed emphasis. How serious we are about wanting, desiring to do the will of God. So the will of God is to show mercy to your enemy, to your frenemy, someone who almost hit you with a car by intention, someone who poisoned you, but you were able to overcome. I mean, you didn't die. The Bible is saying that show him or her mercy. So we're saying that one has two choices if you want to do the will of God. One, to follow nature and seek revenge. This is what they will be saying. So will you follow nature and seek revenge, or to cross over into the supernatural and show mercy? So these are questions for you. That's why I said there are two choices. You can choose. If you're for Satan, then you can go to the BI. To follow nature and seek revenge. Yes. So an eye for an eye. A tooth for a tooth. Or a teeth for a teeth. Or I. To cross over into the supernatural and show mercy. So which of them will you choose? At the end, you will understand which of them that you must choose. If you want to do the will of God, do not be foolish. By avenging your enemy, you are being foolish. But understand the will of the Lord. It's by showing mercy. Now, showing mercy goes against human nature. Of course, it is true. If we are on our own, I will say, but there's no way I'm going to show mercy to my enemy. If someone hurts you or a member of your family, it is natural to retaliate. Yes. When you are offended, you must retaliate to show that you are also somebody. And maybe it is not you in person, but rather your family member. You go and then you retaliate it. Yet, taking vengeance is a path to self-destruction. Taking vengeance is a path to self-destruction. I'll give you a scenario. For example, let's say someone intentionally has begun teasing you, and all those around are all fond of, they are all laughing, they are all making fun of you. You are tempted to fight this person or to make a move. Now, sometimes it is your planned death warrant. Immediately you counter-attack, then the mob will all be against you. I'm saying it could be a planned death warrant. But if you choose to ignore and then move away, their evil plots now remain in them. So at times you are enticed to retaliate something. But if you choose to ignore, Yeah, they'll be calling you names. They'll call. I'm saying that at times when they send a killer to come and kill you, it at times depends. Now, we have some killers who will come and then kill you straight. But some of them too, they want a cause. They want a cause. We say that accident does not occur. It is caused. Sin does not occur. Sin is caused. So this killer, he rather prefers that there should be a cause to your death. So sometimes he pretends to even be working with you. I remember when I was in my former suburb, it was somewhere 5 a.m. So a woman was preaching that they sent to her a killer. And this boy went to her as an employee. She's a baker. So this person went to her as an employee. Not knowing that all this while that the boy was working with the woman, he was studying her. And later, he discovered that the woman is good. So therefore, he confessed to the woman that I was sent to come and kill you. But when I came, I saw nothing wrong with you. There was no point of contact. So he could not cause the death. That's why I'm saying that sometimes some killers need a cause before they can kill you. So patience and mercy will drive them away. And sometimes they will either confess to you or they go on their own. So we're saying that you must follow God. The will of the Lord is to show mercy. Therefore, do not be foolish, is to show no mercy. So taking vengeance is a path to self-destruction. Now, family feuds have never... Now, when we say a feud, F-E-U-D, we are making reference to protracted litigation. We all know protractor, 60 degrees, and an instrument or a rule which has rotation, 60, 180 to 360. So it is a circular. So a feud is defined as protracted litigation. When I say litigation, we mean to go to court and the chief's palace to dispute over land and others. Litigation. So a feud, when we say family feud, is something which does not entirely wipe out. Generations will continue. They will continue and continue and continue and continue until a judgment day will come. That's why we call it a feud. Protracted litigation. Okay, so family feuds have never turned out well. Very good, yes. For example, a family A and a family B. When they have a conflict, there's no way this will end. We have countries who are also enemies to each other. There's no way this will fail because the histories are there for the new ones to read. And once they read it, they will retaliate. In some cases, families and nations have been disseminated. When we say disseminated, we mean destroyed, obliterated, and virtually wiped off the face of the earth because someone sought satisfaction. Yes, that's what I was saying. When you are growing, they give you the document to read that this man murdered your grandfather. This country did this. This household did this to you. So they implant this evil in you right from infancy. So as you are growing, sometimes you are even banned never to pass some locations. And sometimes you are forbidden to even go to school in some institutions or in some countries. They have implanted the hatred in you so that you continue their order. So at the end, they will all die. And when someone dies, someone becomes happy. Someone will celebrate that, yes, my mission has been fulfilled or accomplished. So the person will be using you for dirty works. Then he or she celebrates somewhere. All right. So here we're saying that we must rise above our instincts and learn to show mercy towards others. When we say instinct, we mean your inward feeling. It could be positive or negative. Instincts are of two types: negative or positive. To go, to sit, to kill, to show mercy. So to kill is the negative instinct to retaliate, negative instinct. To forgive, it becomes a positive instinct. So based on your instinct is when you are going to act or react. So you must control it. We must learn to forgive and forget. You forgive and then you forget once and for all. There's no way you're going to, unless otherwise. Maybe you want to use it to cite something, but then once you have forgiven it, you forget it. Period. This is what Jesus was saying in the 5th Beatitude or Beatitude. Blessed are those who show mercy, or blessed are the merciful. Now, vengeance or retaliation is different from correction and punishment. Now, for example, your son has misbehaved, has insulted you. You must correct him and also punish him, whereby you have seen that he has now become insolent. So the person must be corrected. And correction here is not the same as vengeance. Now, someone has begun to disrespect you or has been encroaching on your land. I mean, intentional means of encroaching. Meanwhile, you have a document to prove that this portion is mine. You have the right to correct him that, hey, you are trespassing. And if he continues, you can report to the Land Commission. No, I won't say you can. You must report to the Land Commission, because you have a document to prove that the portion is yours. So they will come and then they will calculate to prove that, yes, here is for Mr. A and here for Mr. B. So therefore, from now onward, please don't come here again. That one is correction. That one is correction. And sometimes to someone will come and then officially insult you. Sometimes you have to go and then warn him or her. Otherwise, this will continue. There's no way you must nowhere sit down there and then accept some things in life. Sometimes you have to talk back to prove that you are also a human being. And there's a limit to toleration. This is not vengeance. To correct someone is not vengeance. To punish someone for wrongdoing, being habitual, is not vengeance. The person must learn some sense. He or she must learn some lessons that we are all human beings. We all have our pride. We are all on our own. So no trespassing. People must be corrected. Otherwise, they will continuously insult and then underestimate you. So when someone is trespassing, that one you must correct and even punish. Now, by punishment, I can have a fence wall around my land. When I do that, there's no way you can even come in. I've had my fence wall around my land. So there's no way you can encroach. There will take a gate. This becomes the punishment. I mean, there's a barrier so that the person no longer will trespass by coming to your land to misbehave. So a fence wall or fencing wall will solve this. This becomes the punishment because the person is no longer coming to your yard or to your land to disturb. Now, if you're a teacher and the student is recalcitrant, when some show recalcitrant, they might be corrected and punished. Even students who are late are given portions to read. This is correction and punishment. This is not vengeance because they have breaking the rules and then regulations. They have refused to be disciplined. They want to choose their own way. Education exists to reform. There must be reformation. So some went to school being lazy, non-time conscious, but after graduation, they are punctual and regular. They are so disciplined. That's the meaning of reformation. So this is different from vengeance. And no matter how sad this student will be, he or she must be punished because the rules have been broken. I'm sorry, there was traffic, this and that. Once he is caught, he must be punished. If he's a student type who is respectful. He does the punishment before he comes to you. Oh, sir, please. Today my mom was this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Then you see that this student is real obedient. I remember some time ago, somewhere 2020. Now I was in class teaching, and then a student walked in. Oh, so taller than myself. I hate lateness. In fact, I just hate someone who is not time conscious. There's no way you can be friendly with me. I hate it because I don't like to waste my time. And if you waste my time, I will cause you excruciating pains. I'll punish you so severely for you wasting my time, even 1 minute. That I should be waiting for you, and then I came before you came. I will plan and punish you. This isn't vengeance. I must correct the person to know that time lost can't be regained. So basically, when I'm in class, you don't come in. You must be in before I come. So when I'm in class teaching, no student, whoever you are, can come into my class. So when I saw him standing on the veranda, then I assigned him to go and then read to a different teacher. And later, he came to the office to greet, and then he was apologizing. Then he showed me his palm, and I saw some sauce. And he was saying that he read yesterday. They gave them some portion to read yesterday, so all the palm is more or less like rotten. But he still went and then do the work. Then I said, wow, what an obedient student. He had a genuine excuse because already he did some groundwork yesterday, and now there are some sores or some injuries in the palm. Yet he went to read, and then later he came to still apologize. That he said, sir, I'm sorry for being late in your class. I know you hate lateness. And then later he showed me his sores in the palm. He became my friend from Form 2 till he competed. I remember there was a time he even offended the HOD. I went to intervene for him because I saw him to be so obedient and respectful. So that's how life should be. So we are saying that vengeance is different from correction and justice. So by justice, at times, when someone rapes your word, the best thing to do is that he goes to jail. This is justice. So correction, justice, and punishment are different from vengeance. You have raped, you have killed, and the law is saying that the person should go to jail. You go to jail. But if they call me that he's going for 20 years or he's going for 15 years, if you wish, we can reduce the prison sentence to 10 years. For that one, I will sign. Okay, you give him 10 years. At least you've done your part. But there's no way a law will permit that a rapist be scot-free. No. So if they call me, there are 40 years, but by your mercy, you can divide it into 2. Then I will sign for 20 years. So for example, you have to sign 20 years and 40 years. For that one, I will sign 20 years. At least I've shown him partial mercy. But there's no way I'm going to allow him to go free. No. He might be punished. This is justice. And there's nothing wrong. Justice is not a sin. Now go to Garden of Eden. Adam and then Eve. When Eve, due to pride, disobeyed God, God sacked them from the garden. Now, people will debate that our God is a God of second chance. And I've been giving the same example. You are staying in my room. You have offended me. I took my keys from you. If I will give you a second chance, then I'm going to give you back my keys. But if I don't give you back my keys, thereby sacking you, I have not given you a second chance. Rather, you are punished, and I've shown you some justice. So God gave Adam and Eve no second chance in the Garden of Eden when they disobeyed him. This is not vengeance. This is correction and justice. When Solomon disobeyed God by taking second wife and then continuous adultery, God corrected him and showed him justice. So he died earlier. He took his kingdom from him and even divided it. When Samson also disobeyed God, God did not give him second chance. Now, for him praying for the hair to grow again, it's not a second chance. If so, why did he die? Yes, why did he die? Why did he die? You can go to my videos and watch. Do not love the world. Be careful how you walk. You see that I've taught on Samson, blinded by pride. God did not give Samson any second chance. There's no one can prove this. If he was given second chance, then the eyes should have grown and he wouldn't have died. He died prematurely, judging Israel for just 20 years, as strong as he was. So God didn't show mercy to Samson. He corrected him and justice had to take place. This was not vengeance. So don't call this that God avenged Samson. No. He suffered for his own choice. Choices have consequences. So this is what you must know about vengeance, between vengeance, justice, punishment, and correction. All right. Now, we can, you see, I was just warming up. Yes, now I was trying to warm up with the introduction. So now we're going to start the entire studies. In fact, I love a comprehensive introduction. Yes. Always I've been telling my teachers that if a teacher, when you go to class and then you write a topic, the first thing is to define it and give explanation. That's all. By then, you are done teaching the topic. But if you go and start to copy notes, then it means you yourself you are confused. You don't even know what you are doing, and you're also going to confuse your learners. In fact, you yourself, you don't understand. So how can they also understand? So to me, I prefer to define and then give vivid introduction so that the student who is a serious learner, based on the definition and the introduction, can even deduce his own conclusion. All right. So we go to the synopsis and objectives of the studies. 1. What does it mean to be merciful? What does it mean to be merciful? B. Importance of mercy. Then C. To understand, they will be shown mercy. They will be shown mercy. So point 1 or the A. What does it mean to be merciful? Now, the Greek word for mercy is Eleos. Eleos. E-L-E-O-S. And merciful. So I'm defining mercy and merciful. So mercy is Eleos, and then merciful is Ilmon. Ilmon. E-L-E-E-M-O-N. They all mean heartfelt sympathy that leads to gracious action. That's all. So both the Eleos and then the Ilmon or Ilmon, they all denote or they all depict, they all symbolize heartfelt sympathy that leads to gracious action. That's all. So sympathy that you have felt inwardly. Now forgive this person. Based on ignorance, then you let the person go. But when this becomes a habit, it's when we correct, we punish, we show justice. When there's a habit, someone has chosen to exhibit a continuous or perpetual happiness. Character or misbehavior. For that one, a correction must be utilized. All right. It also means, so I've given you one. Heartfelt sympathy that leads to gracious action. So that's 1.2 of defining mercy and merciful. Eleos and then Ilmon or Elimon. 2. It also means showing compassion. Compassion. to people who are in pain, misery, and distress. So that's the point 2. Point 1, mercy is heartfelt sympathy that leads to gracious action. 2, showing compassion to people who are in pain, misery, and distress. So this will refer to the rich man and Lazarus. Of course, we will go there, Luke 16, verse 19 to 31, 26 downwards. Showing compassion to people who are in pain, misery, and distress. So that's 2. Point 3, showing compassion to people who deserve punishment for something they have done, they have said, or they have done. So showing compassion to people who deserve punishment, people who deserve punishment for something they have said or they have done. So I've mentioned the imprisonment and others. At times, someone may do something to resemble as if it was intentional, but hey, you can't judge like that. Sometimes some people need to be forgiven. As I said, this could be a challenge in him where no one has helped to overcome it. By showing mercy is the greatest form of decoration to his character, because he knew that by all means, this one, I'll be killed. Either I'll be killed, I'll be jailed, I'll be beaten, and a whole lot. Because he saw the crowd, he saw the magnitude of the crime, and he had no hope. And knowing who you are, maybe they have heard that you are so justice and disciplined. So he knew that by all means, this man will kill me, will send him to jail, or will beat me. You came, you analyzed the whole issue, and he said, my friend, you can go and sin no more. This is the best form of healing. You have healed the person. If he has conscience, there's no way he's going to sin again or commit a crime again. I said, if someone who has a conscience, there's no way this person will, because he knew that day was his last on earth. And based on people or what people have said about you, he knew that there's no way you're going to forgive. So you just look at it and then you ignore. At times, he becomes your friend. Maybe he can even follow you to your church. All right. So mercy is showing compassion to someone who deserves to be punished for something he has done or said. Maybe there was a false accusation on you, and your reputation has been tarnished big time. You went and saw it and then you ignore. Of course, as a teacher, you meet so many of these things. To tarnish your image. Oh, they are a whole lot. You hear it and then you shun, because you see them to be children. They have not grown and they are not mature. So you just have to move on. So I've given you 3 definitions for the Greek words Elios and then Ilmon or Ilmon. Now, William Buckley reminds us that Jesus preached the Sermon on the Mount in Aramaic, and that the sermon was later transferred into Greek. So the first was in Aramaic and then later into Greek. Now, we continue by saying the Aramaic is similar to Hebrew. So they are similar. And the Hebrew word for mercy, you see, I'm doing all this to trace the Hebrew word for mercy. Now I've traced the Greek word for mercy. I'm trying to trace the Hebrew word for mercy. I'm saying that it was from Aramaic to Hebrew. They are similar. So Hebrew word for mercy is chesed, chesed, chesed. The rich Old Testament signifies, the chesed or the mercy in the Old Testament means empathy for another person. Empathy for another person. Empathy for another person. So mercy, even in the Old Testament, the Hebrew word chesed means empathy for another or other person. Now, let's define empathy. Empathy is the ability to get inside other person's heart, to think his thoughts, and to feel his emotions. So you walk into the person's shoes. You assume that you are the one being hungry. At least think about how intense a hunger can be. This is the empathy. Assume that you are the person. At times when I'm in a commercial car coming home and I see mad men or mad people around, at times it is raining, at times it is so, the sun is so scorching. Then you may see some even sitting in the sun. I said, how? I feel so sorry. I remember there was a time I went to town. Some of our students, he's a phone repairer. So I went there, and then some madman was passing by, and then he came to beg for money. So I asked him to give him. Of course, he was going to give, but I also had to add something to it. Not by giving money, but I have to say, oh, Prince, give him something. So when he went, then I said, Prince, do you know something? He said, no, sir. I said, we can all be mad, you understand? He said, sir, it is not easy. I said, yes, Prince. For example, myself, I can be mad and then be passing by you. So how will you feel to see your teacher being mad, roaming in the streets? Are you going to mock him? Especially if the teacher is the type who was always chasing you on compound to cane you, to sack school fees, to give you a ground's work and others. Will you be happy that he's mad or what? We can all be mad. And madness is not about always going to steal someone to curse you. It could be through an accident or an incident. If someone mistakenly hit your head with a wood, or how do I even call it? A stray stone, based on where it will hit, you can go mad. So madness is not always caused by someone going to steal and being cursed. So no, it could be an accident. It could be an accident. Even stroke comes unexpectedly. Stroke. There's no way at times you may say something before you are aware, then you are paralyzed. So to me, I don't make fun of people who are whether he was cursed or not. I don't care. My interest is that why is it that I am in a car? Even in the car, you still feel heat, but this person is rather seated or sitting in the sun. So I feel sorry for them. I don't have money, but when I see that a student is suffering, I feel so sad for them. You see, this is empathy. To be in the person's shoes, to assume that you are the person. That's the meaning of empathy. And this is the meaning of mercy, chaste, as the Hebrew word. So therefore, we don't have to be rich before we show mercy. Even the least you have, you can give. I feel so sad to see someone suffering. How I wish I'm a billionaire to eradicate all this poverty from those I know on the street. At times you in the car, you see someone selling pure water. Maybe the friends are in the house, they are in the school, they are learning. But if this girl does not go and sell the pure water, there's no way you'll be giving one Ghana cedi to school tomorrow. So she becomes a hawker, and by hawking, she becomes vulnerable to men. Precisely if she's a girl child, you see, they are prone to social vices because sooner or later she starts to also make some savings from the pure water selling. So at the time when you buy it, they refuse to change you. So by adding 20% per sale, maybe at the end they may have 2 cedis. So she goes and then put it aside as in a form of savings. She starts to be corrupt right from there. I'm not saying that all those who are selling are poor. I'm just making an inference. All right. So here we're saying that the Hebrew word for mercy is chaste, and in the Old Testament it means empathy for other person. And empathy is putting yourself in someone's heart. Because the heart determines our emotion, our feelings, our everything. So be in his heart. And then you think the way he thinks. It's when you know that you are showing real mercy. Showing mercy isn't about verbal words. It should be practical. It must manifest. So show mercy, my friend. Now, chest also symbolizes identification with. Chest symbolizes identification of another person until we see things through his or her eyes. Yes. For example, the person is sad. So you must see to it that he is now happy. I'm sorry for that. You must now see to it that he or she is now happy. So once again, you are still in the person. You are inside the person. Oh, my friend, why are you sad? You must make all your best possible to see to it that this your friend has come back to his or her state. The opposite is called apathy. Someone who is selfish, egocentric. He is concerned with his or her own feelings. Apathy. Someone who is so wicked, does not care about anyone, whether you die or not. He doesn't care. He is completely unconcerned. So selfish, extreme selfishness. Whether you die or not, you go to hell. He doesn't care. Apathy is the opposite. And this is for evil. Anyone who is evil is an apathetic person. He or she is unconcerned. Even if you die for him, he or she will show no appreciation. Meanwhile, he wants you to care for him, but he will never care for you. We have people who are like that. They pretend to forget things. Yes, they pretend. Because of being selfish, they pretend to hear your story. They care about their own, always, all the time. But there's no way they are interested in what you are doing. We have some people who are like that. No matter how you try to convince them that it is their nature. They are extremely selfish, egocentric. They are only thinking about their own and not others. Now, mercy. Now, I'll give you some two analysis here. Mercy includes helping the needy. Go to Luke 10, verse 29 to 37. I will not read everything. But here is the story of the Samaritan. Luke 10. I will not read everything because it is a full story. You have time to read. So Luke 10, verse 29 to 37. Okay. But wanting to justify himself, he said to Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" We're trying to make reference to empathy and apathy. In this story, you will see it. So we say that number one, mercy includes helping the needy. Verse 30, and Jesus answered and said, "A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, who stripped him of his clothing and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead." So therefore, the traveler was beaten and robbed, and he was left unconscious. So people passed. Some were busy going to a meeting. Me, I'm busy, so I don't have time. So some passed, and only one person showed mercy. Go to verse 37. So Christ told the person who came to ask this question. Then he said, "He who showed mercy toward him." So this means that the person has replied to Jesus Christ that the person who showed mercy is to be considered. Then Jesus said to him, go and do likewise. So Christ is saying that we should show mercy to the needy. Why was he needy? Because he was beaten and left unconscious. They robbed all his belongings. So he was left with nothing. There was someone who came and took him in to a physician to care for the wound and then the injuries. He paid everything. This is mercy. So Jesus regularly had mercy on the sick, the hungry, and diseased people. Point 2, mercy includes 499 times forgiveness. So go to Matthew 18, verse 21 and 22. So mercy includes 490 times forgiveness. Yes. 70 times 7 also. 18, verse 21. Yes. Then Peter came to him and said, Lord, how often will my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Please, I repeat it. Then Peter came to him and said, Lord, how often will my brother sin against me and I forgive him? It is a question. That's why I wanted to take it again. Up to 7 times. Go to verse 22. Jesus said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. So this will give you 490. So mercy includes 490 times forgiveness. So which means there's no limitation to forgiveness. 1 up to 490, almost 500. So mercy, showing mercy has no limitation. Now, mercy springs from the heart of a person filled with the righteousness imparted to him by God. Yes. There's no way you can do this by your own strength. I'm saying that in our nature, we must retaliate. When someone offends you, you punish the person. That's how we were created. That's how we are, except the favor of God in you before you act otherwise. So mercy springs from the heart of a person filled with the righteousness imparted to him by God. Impartation. So this is not by your might. By nature, you exist to retaliate. As the Spirit of God transforms us into the likeness of Christ, we can show mercy to others as God has shown mercy to us. So to show mercy, because God gave it to us, we also have to give it. So it is reciprocal. You give and then you get, or you get and then you give. Yes, sorry. We got it from God, so we give it. That's all. God himself is the source of our mercy. So a merciful attitude is evidence that a person has been born again of water and spirit and is living a new life in Christ. So 2 Corinthians 5 verse 15. So when you are in Christ, you are new creature. All things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17. Yes. Therefore, if any man is in Christ, he is a new creature. All things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Yes. So now you are new in Christ. All things are gone, and now everything is new. Mercy. B, the importance of mercy. Now let's read the story from 1 is to provide for the needy. To provide for the needy. We are on point B, importance of mercy. To provide for the needy. Now go to Luke 16, verse 19 to 26. If you want, you can read up to the bottom part. Luke 16, verse 19. The full story is from Luke 16, verse 19 to 31. I'll try to paraphrase it. It is a story about rich man and Lazarus. Rich man and Lazarus. We are aware that the rich man lived in inexpensive lifestyle. And Lazarus was so poor. He desired to be fed from the leftovers from the feast of this rich man. However, he was prevented. And even dogs had to lick his sores. He was so poor. He was poor even in physical body. Sores have covered him, so which means he will stink. And also he was hungry. So we're saying that mercy is essential in godly living. Without it, we are in trouble with God. So it came to a pass when the rich man died and he was buried, so also Lazarus. Now go to 16 verse 23. No, verse 22. Luke 16 verse 22 to 23. Now it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. Verse 23. Here is where you have to take it well. Of course, I will give a sermon also on this later. And in Hades, he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and he saw Abraham far away and Lazarus in his bosom. Now, this is the New King James. Now I want to do some correction here. So I'm now going to the ESV on the same Luke 16 verse 23. I am here. And okay, so Hades is here, and in Hades being in torment. Now some versions will use hell. I thought the ESV is also hell. So here is Hades, but some versions may say hell. In hell, the word hell there. If you go to the King James version, the King James will say hell. No, it is not hell. No. It is not true. No one is in hell except the devil and his angels. They are in hell. Abraham, King Herod, Nebuchadnezzar, Moses, they are not yet in heaven or in hell. So this is what you must know. So here it is saying that, and in Hades. Now Hades is a dwelling place for the dead. This is what we must know. Hades. Of course, I will treat this in a sermon. So I'm going, but let me give you some simple illustration. Hades is a temporal dwelling place for the dead. Now go to Luke, Hebrews 9:27. Yes, I'm sure. Hebrews 9:27. Hebrews. Let's see something here. As it is appointed for men to die once, but I'll start again. As it is appointed for men to die once, but after this, the judgment. So once you die, now some people have been debating that. So people think God will wait until the final trumpet before he judges the dead. Once you die, he judges you. As seen in Hebrews 9 verse 27. The moment you die, then you go to hell, to Hades. So when you die and God judges you, it's when you go to Hades. We have two parts there, or two places there. Those who did or who live in righteousness go to paradise. When we say paradise is proportional to Garden of Eden. So we say pleasantries. You go there to enjoy. You only enjoy. Adam enjoyed a lot in the garden. So those who will die in Hebrews 9:27 and have done the good things will go to paradise in a Hades. Same Hades. Those who lived to serve Satan in Hades goes to Tartarus. So Hades is divided into two. Now come here. Now when we say Tartarus, we mean place of torment. Paradise is place of pleasantries and enjoyment. Tartarus is a place of torment. Now go to Luke 16, verse 23 again. To prove that the rich man was in torment. So in Hades, in Tartarus, and in Hades, he lifted up his eyes, being in torment. Yes. See, this is how we said the Bible. This is how the Bible should be studied, okay? Not as a newspaper, as if you are reading a current affair. No. You study it. You do power comparison of verses and chapters. So Hades is a temporal dwelling place of the dead. All those who died, King Pharaoh and they are all there. They are all there. So it means some have been there about 2,000 years, and they are suffering. They are in torment. All the Roman soldiers who killed Jesus Christ, if they continued in their sin, they are there, suffering. So they are waiting. Now upon the final graduation, those in paradise will go to heaven. I mean the end of the world. When the trumpet is sound, those from the paradise, being the righteous people, they go to heaven. Those in Tartarus, they go to hell. So if your Bible is using hell, then it is wrong. That's why I said that we use the New King James Bible, the ESV, and then the New American Standard Bible. These three are good for biblical studies. When you die, you don't go to hell straight. No. You go to a temporal dwelling place. Heaven is permanent. Hell is permanent. But paradise and Tartarus are all temporal. So I think I will leave it. As I said, I will give a sermon on it. So we will know. Now, the rich man died, as I said, and then he went to Tartarus, place of torment. And then Lazarus in Abraham's bosom. So in paradise. Now, a question may be asked. In fact, you go and then ask your preacher or your pastor, why is it that the rich man went to a torment? And see the funny story, cartoon stories that he will tell you. Because they don't say the Bible. Why did the rich man go to the place of torment called Tartarus? Why? Because he did not show mercy to Lazarus. Therefore, no mercy will be shown to him. So if you don't show mercy, God will not also show you mercy. Period. And so simple. At times, you can speculate that, because the rich man refused to feed Lazarus. Yeah, because he was looking for food and shelter, basically. But the man refused. In biblical studies, it's not about the rich man refusing to give him food and water. No. He did not show mercy to Lazarus. That's what you must know. That's all. The rich man didn't do anything. He didn't commit any crime. And this is so severe and dangerous. At times, when I hear this, then I fear for my salvation. That, can you imagine? All because he didn't show mercy. And this is so surprising to me. In fact, just mercy. That's why he went to a place of torment. I said, wow, this is so surprising. And so, you can't believe it. So all this while when the rich man was refusing or preventing others, then it means he was continuously denying him mercy. But he didn't know. And these are the attribute of satanic people. They are so wicked. Sometimes you want a loan from your friend, or the person will never give it to you. Sometimes you need something, the person will never do it. Pure wickedness. Because he did not show mercy to Lazarus. He was not also sure. That's why Abraham replied, son, remember. Remember. You see, remember. So my sermon will be, remember. On this same text, remember. He said, son, remember. Yes. I said, wow, what a surprise. In fact, at times when I'm sitting and then saying the Bible, I say, hey, so will I go to heaven? In fact, I don't know how and why I should go to heaven. Son, remember when he was pleading for mercy in Tartarus, Abraham had to refrain him to know his foolishness that he did on earth while alive. Son, remember your foolishness. Remember your wickedness. Remember your hatred. Remember your partiality. Remember your favoritism. Remember your nepotism and tribalism. Partiality. Remember. Son, remember. Let me see if I can find where it is. Verse 25. No. Let's even continue from 24 and see how he was suffering. Then he cried and said, yes, he was crying, Father Abraham, have mercy on me. Oh, wow. Have mercy on me. Someone who refused to show mercy. So, surprisingly, how did he even think of the word mercy? Then he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me and send Lazarus so that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. So he was suffering in Tartarus. All those who are there are suffering now. When we die and we also go there, we continue to suffer. And they will suffer until the last judgment day, before they will go to hell and even continue in advanced suffering. So you sit down there and then be misbehaving, be fooling, be joining Freemasons, be so wicked that you don't want someone to reach where you have reached. You go to where he is. And then you remember the fruits that you did when you were alive. He remembered that he didn't show a mercy to Lazarus. That's why he's now demanding for mercy. But yet it was too late. Once you die, there is judgment. That's why there's no ghost in life. When you die, your soul ceases to function. Your soul is captured either in paradise or a tormenting place. Yes. Once you die, your work has come to an end. Now verse 25. But Abraham said, son, remember. You see, here is where I like it. This is justice. As I was saying earlier, justice and correction and punishment. So don't sit down somewhere and say that, but Abraham had a vengeance on the rich. No. You must reap what you have sown. Reap what you sow. He sown wickedness. So he's suffering in wicked place. Tartarus, place of torment, continuous torment. He said, son, remember that you in your lifetime received your good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he's comforted and you are suffering. Tit for tat. This is justice. Our God isn't a God of second chance always. Please, this is what you must know if you are fooling. Once you are fooling, you must know that there are consequences to your choices. Oh, God, so I will play. No, my friend, you are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. God will not listen to the prayer of a sinner. And even someone yesterday, we heard that when you sin willfully, God does not forgive you. Son, remember when he was pleading for mercy, someone who is dead. When you dead, your works are over. No turning back. So then is when you are judged. Justice, punishment, and correction will take place. That is not vengeance. It was justice. So that he will merit what he sown on earth. You reap what you sow. So if you reap wickedness, you go and suffer in Tartarus, and later you go to hell. So once again, if you die, you don't go to hell or heaven. Please, this is what you must know. Now, point 2. So now, we have seen that he went there because he didn't show mercy to Lazarus. He didn't show mercy. This is what you must know. He did not show mercy. I'm testing. I have to take in some. In fact, yesterday I said that by doctor's advice, don't wait to be tested before you drink. So allow me to. Because he did not show mercy, he was not shown mercy. Tit for tat. He refused to show mercy. Therefore, he was also referred to. Remember your foolishness. Remember your wickedness. Now, point 2 of importance of mercy: to temper justice. James 2 verse 13. James 2 verse 13. James. Oh, very good. So speak and so do as those who will be judged by the law of liberty. James 2 verse 13. Yes. Sorry. I read the verse 12. For judgment will be without mercy to the one who has shown no mercy. For judgment will be without mercy to the one who has shown no mercy. And mercy rejoices over judgment. Yes. So you must show mercy. Mercy triumphs. There's a triumph of mercy over judgment. Therefore, softening it. Now, at times, the girl child has misbehaved and has caused some gross disrespect to the father. Precisely. So, for example, the girl is pregnant, for example. Normally, the father will accuse the mother for improper training and coaching. Of course, because the wife exists to, I would say, to impress the husband. So all the children, because they came from the wife, that's why the wife, when there's any mistake, the husband will normally blame the wife. And mostly the men are out looking for money for the home. So the wife will be mostly with the children. This is just by way of, I will explain it in the Bible. I'm just giving our worldly view of this, temper justice with mercy. So normally the wife becomes a manager of the home. So the wife must be as a man. That's why sometimes the man wants to train the wife to be like him, so that in his absence, she will act even more than the father will do. So when the child misbehaves, she corrects. If you have to seize the laptop, you seize it. Don't wait for the father. Don't call babes or husband, the girl. No. You are in charge. Okay. But at times, it is extreme. Children are naturally stubborn. Naturally. In fact, human beings are naturally indisciplined. And as they are growing, they want their freedom. Even though you know why you are preventing them, but they want to have their own way. So, for example, one is pregnant. And you see that there's a chaos in the home. Upon all the suffering of the father, feeding the family, calling to check up on them, paying school fees, and his reward is pregnancy with one stupid boy. He becomes so angry, and in fact so angry, anger in the to the extreme. So now, even in movies, we see that the wife will look for the correct time I mean, the right time to apologize. And normally they will say that my husband, temper justice with mercy. Temper justice with mercy. Now, temper here isn't anger. This word is an engineering word. We call it tempering. Tempering. So, a temper here, don't think I'm making reference to it. It is not anger. There's no anger will lead to softness or softening of a punishment. No. So, tempering is a method of making a metal soft, in case you are unaware. It is a method of making a metal soft. Of course, it falls under, we have what we call annealing. Under annealing, you have normalizing and tempering. They all lead to softness. That's why I said to temper justice. So that the word temper there is not about anger. Please don't see it as a synonym for anger, because I wrote my script and I know what I'm making reference to. So the wife will say that my husband temper justice with mercy. It means soften the punishment. Period. I've been asking my students anytime I'm teaching them a heat treatment of plain carbon steel. When you go to cooling and quenching, it's when you see all these things. Or when we are describing the heat treatment processes, so where you have annealing, and then you have the normalizer and then the tempering. So this word used here means that to soften the punishment. That's all. My husband temper justice with mercy means that the husband should soften. So this means that by all means the girl will be punished. By all means. But the wife will pray that at least it might be a bit lower. Now, if we're a child, I've been telling the girls that I am with that you don't qualify to apologize to your father. Yes. There's no way you can qualify to apologize to your father. Normally, the wife will intercede on behalf of the children. So if you're a child and your father has been refusing to accept your apology, it is natural order. So sometimes you channel through your mother. Now, why would the father forgive the child through the mother? Because he loves and respects his wife. Period. That's all. And because they make themselves to bring the children up. Even though he'll be angry, but he can be partially reduced by the wife's intervention. And not the child. Because you this child, you don't even respect. Why should you insult your father, or why should you disrespect him? Why should you become pregnant? I mean, didn't you think? Don't you have sense? You should have calculated your foolishness before going in there to do. So here, there's no way you don't qualify to apologize. Even when you apologize, for instance, you make me more angry. I hate I'm sorry. Saying sorry changes nothing. I just hate sorry. I hate it. When you are fooling, do calculate to know the impact and the outcome. Saying sorry changes nothing. You are pregnant. You are saying sorry. By saying sorry, has the pregnancy gone away? So what do you mean by you are sorry? He is just looking for an excuse. She's just looking for an excuse to continuously fool. So to say sorry means you want to be pardoned and continuously fool. That's why I just don't want to hear the word in my yes, I'm sorry. I hate it much. So the wife, as I said, will find a very nice and convenient way of apologizing to the husband. If she's the sensible type. Because some are so stupid enough that they will support the child. I mean, she's our daughter, and so what? She is not the only person. It means the wife would rather be defending the daughter, that she is not the only one who has done that. So if you meet a man who is responsible, he advises himself that, oh wow, so it means my wife and then the children are now one against me. If we are unlucky, he goes out to start marrying elsewhere. If we are unlucky, or he starts to cheat on you. So if he's away working, Before you are aware, about 4 or 5 months, he has not been home. Oh, I'm busy. My work is this. You are not there. This is and that. He has found another home or happiness there. I'm not saying it for a Christian. This is how you should behave. But I'm saying that this is what has been existing. It is so disrespectful that your daughter is pregnant, and instead of you to render penitent and qualified apology, rather you are defending the child before the father. Anyway, so we said that on Judgment Day, God will be merciful to us if we have been merciful to others, to temper justice. James 2 verse 18. So on the day of judgment, if the rich man had shown mercy to Lazarus, he would have been shown mercy. In fact, he wouldn't have even gone to where he was, because people who show mercy by the grace of God will be qualified to go to heaven. I mean paradise before heaven. Now point 3, go to Proverbs 21 verse 13. Proverbs 21 verse 13. Whoever closes his ear to the cry of the poor will himself call out and not be answered. So to be compassionate, point 3 of the importance of mercy, or why we should show mercy. To be compassionate. To be compassionate. So 21 verse 13, I repeat it. Whoever closes his ear to the cry of the poor will himself call out and not be answered. When we say someone is poor, it's not about being poor entirely. But at times, let's say you are in a car going to some destination, and the car is supposed to be, let's say, 5 cities, and the person has just 4 cities. You see, the mate has been quarreling and making some sins. So you can add 1 city to the person's fare, or you say it is even okay, and I've given you 10 cities. So deduct from my money. That's why you have shown mercy to the poor or the needy. The person there had become poor, or the person there had become needy because he or she needs something to be given to. So to be poor is not about always visiting the orphanage, no. But the moment you are in need, you are in a poor state. All right. Now we go to the final part. See, they will be shown mercy. They will be shown mercy. They who? What did Jesus mean when he said, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy"? Did he mean that we merit God's favor or God's mercy, by being merciful? No, please. When you are merciful, does not mean that you go to heaven by automation. No. It is by God's favor. If that were true, okay, if by being merciful, it means you have won a God's favor, then it means that ungodly philanthropists would earn a reward in heaven by giving alms to the poor. Someone is in Freemason, into Illuminati, into the dark world, being the music and then the movie artist. I mean, doing some rituals for fame. Footballers, they do charity work a lot. But hey, football is not a righteous work. So please, you must know all these things. You must avoid dishonest gain. Proverbs 13 verse 11. Avoid dishonest gain. Proverbs 13 verse 11. Avoid dishonest gain. So being donating to the world by being a footballer does not qualify you to go to heaven. Ungodly philanthropists will not go to heaven. Ungodly. These are what you must know. Even in Christianity, we are saying that your giving and regular church attendance will not send you to heaven. In case you don't know, I'm the first to go to church. I am this and that. I always go to church. I even bought a bus for them. When they were building a house, I bought blocks. You will not go to heaven by being a philanthropist and then punctual to church or being regular to church. No. Go to Matthew 28, verse 19 to 20, and then Mark 16, verse 15 to 16. Go therefore. Go therefore. Go therefore means that you must learn the Bible, go and reach out to the lost souls so that they will come to the lost church before you go to heaven. So going to church every day and on time, building a structure, buying computer, will not send you to heaven. All these they are all here. The people don't know. And the church will not even teach because they don't know it. All they care is that you always come to church, buy something for us. So they have refused to do evangelism. They will all die and go to torment. Yes. Christ himself began the ministry. He began it. He was always preaching. Christ. He was always preaching. Always he was preaching. His apostles were always preaching. So what do you mean by sitting in the church and giving alms, always being in church? And so what? I am saying, by the authority of the Bible, that you die and go to torment. So you sit down there and then debate. But the rich man died before he saw that he was the Bible is saying in Hades. So which means he didn't know that he was even dead. In Hades, or he didn't think of where he would go. But when he went there, he regretted. So also you will regret by challenging that I am wrong. So we're saying that ungodly philanthropists will never go to heaven by virtue of their mercy. It is impossible. Go and sell cocaine and then sponsor about a 10 university students. Even when you are arrested, you still go to jail. Even the law, there's no way the law that because no you lie, you go to jail. When you are caught of selling cocaine, of killing human beings to sponsor some students and others, my friend, you go to jail. Even by Ghanaian law, you be jailed. So if you are ungodly and you are good in giving, it does not mean that because you are showing mercy, you go to heaven. It is false. Unless, and even if you're a Christian, even the Christian who will brag that I am in his church, so I'll go to heaven. Even the Christian, the whole year, go to your church and ask those who are bragging, I am this, I am that, I'm this and that. Ask them the whole year, how many souls that they have won? None. Even what you won in, they drop them away due to their negligence. They care about none. Being so selfish, they care about their selfish interest. So even if you go out there to win a soul to the church, hey, you are hated. It is a crime because they don't exist to win souls. They have shifted from what or the reason why they were called. You go and then let them bring you their statistics. Their calculations to prove that the whole year I did this and I've won. They have won no single soul in the church, and at the end they think they go to heaven. So supposing that it is a company, I'm sure that the companies will give awards this December before they celebrate their Christmas. The best worker will have an award. The best maybe punctual so. I'm saying that the workers will be given awards. And because these workers were aware, they did something extra to merit it. Those in the church. Those who attend churches of Christ and bragging, go and then ask them to give you the work that they have done based on Matthew 28, verse 19 to 20, and then Mark 16, verse 15. They have done nothing. They were all there. wasting time and resources for nothing. And when they see that you are doing the work of the Lord, because they are antichrist, they all fall against you. Anybody who prevents you or who questions you why you are doing God's work is an antichrist. If he does not change and remain, he dies and go to torment. None goes to heaven by just being merciful. Very good. Oh, I didn't even know that it is even here. Yes. None go to heaven by being merciful. It is impossible. This will never happen. None goes to heaven by just being, I'm merciful. Even in my church, I have sponsored 2 people to go abroad. And so what? That will not merit your heaven. No. Salvation is not end. There is nothing we can do to merit it. It is a gift of God. Ephesians 2 verse 8. Ephesians 2 verse 8. Ephesians 2 verse 8. For by grace you are saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God. So even by going to church regularly, by going there on time, and by doing God's work, before God can consider you, I mentioned today, by being punctual and by being punctual in church, by being regular, and then maybe number 3, by giving, and number 4, doing God's work. In fact, God's work is the first thing, and when they are all together is when God can grant you. So just be merciful. That one is not. It is even non-score. Yes, that one is non-score. Now we have seen that it is non-scorable at all. This doesn't mean that don't show. Don't show mercy. When we, as Christians, come to God empty-handed, impenitent, obedient faith, He gives us mercy. Now, this mercy grows in us because God had been merciful. The Apostle Paul told the Christians in Ephesus, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ, God forgave you. Ephesians 4 verse 32. I will not read. Ephesians 4 verse 32. God's mercy was extended to us when we were baptized into Christ. Romans 6 verse 3. Galatians 3 verse 27. This motivates us to be merciful towards us. So, by Romans 6 verse 3 and Galatians 3 verse 27, what we got is what we share. When we were baptized, then God had mercy in us. So also we must also show. Of course, we are living to serve Christ. That's all. Now, conclusion. 1. God is saying, vengeance is mine. Vengeance is mine. Deuteronomy 22. I said 32 verse 35. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy. And you can also open to Romans 12 verse 19. They are all saying the same thing. Deuteronomy. So 32 verse 35. Vengeance is mine, and recompense for the time when their foot shall slip. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and their doom comes swiftly. Vengeance is mine. That's what God is saying. Now, let's see the same thing in Romans 12, verse 19. Romans 12 verse 19. I read, dearly beloved, do not take revenge, but give place to God's wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. So conclusion, we're saying that vengeance is for the Lord. Forgive and forget. Number 2, we must not take our salvation for granted. Our salvation will be forfeited if we forsake God and return to our old life of sin. Willful sins deliberately committed are not forgiven. As I was saying earlier, even myself, I said, I hate sorry. Saying sorry changes nothing. I see that you're looking for some ladder to climb in your pride and arrogance. The person will continue to repeat the same foolish act. That's why he's using sorry. So when you come to me, I'll ask you, don't say you are sorry. Don't say please forgive me. Don't mention anything which refers to apology. So how will you apologize? Saying sorry even to me myself, and not I alone, some people, changes nothing. For example, you have said that your wife is a very stupid woman. Your own wife, or let's say you have raised your hand against your wife, it means the barrier has been broken. My dear women, your husband who is now apologizing, who has given you a slap and now pretending, he will do the same thing on and on because he has broken the respect. How dare you hate your wife? I mean, how dare you? So once this has been broken, saying sorry will change nothing. Of course, the person has slapped you. So why are you not apologizing? The thing has been done. Why are you apologizing? So let's see what God is telling us. Hebrews 10, verse 26. Okay. Almost. Very good. For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there is no longer remains or sacrifice for our sins or for sins. I repeat it. In fact, it is a very nice quotation. For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, once you have known that this is done this way or that way, now you are aware of it, there is no longer remains a sacrifice for sins. So go and then even kill animal, God will not accept it. In this modern world, go and then rape your own child. If you're a father, go and rape your own child and see if the court will pardon you. Go and then rape somebody being a student and see if they will pardon you by saying you are sorry. Saying sorry changes nothing. It is just an excuse for more disobedience. That's why God had to repel the woman and then the man from the Eden, because they were going to fool and then misbehave. They were going to show him an attitude. Anybody who is fond of sorry is looking for opportunity to show you an attitude. There's no way I will accept. And if I'm my student who offends me to come and then apologize, hi, you are in bondage. The way I will stress you, I will deal with you so intense that sometimes you may even want to stop schooling. It is a poor habit. We are all imperfect, but we are making reference to someone who has intentionally done or do something. Sometimes they do it out of intention, and then later, you see, nowadays, parents have to know that children have seen that you're not going to allow them to misbehave, so they do it, and later they apologize. We call it do before complain. Yes, he or she knows that there's no way you're going to allow them or him or her to go out, so he secretly goes out. or she secretly goes out. Later, she comes home to apologize. Once you accept it, then you are doomed. That's why I say, Father, do not accept sorry. I don't care what you did. My interest is that I don't accept sorry. Period. Whether you mean to do it or not. I don't use my ears to listen to stupid excuses of sorry. I hate it much. You should be reasonable. As a human being, you must know what someone wants and what he hates. Do not intentionally misbehave. And then you are sorry because you are human being. And so what? Not all human beings are. I myself, I feel so hard to apologize. When I say that, I'm not saying but I don't want to offend to apologize. As a human being, we mature. Why should you always apologize? You are always apologizing. So when will you grow? So I don't want to even offend them to apologize. That's why you have to know. If I want to do something, I calculate. Would this person like it or not? If you know that you will not like it, then you don't even do it. Don't do it and later apologize. This shows that you are matured in life and in thought. Okay. So here we say that, but as long as we keep living for Jesus, we have the blessed assurance that there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ. Of course, when you are in Christ, in terms of Romans 8 verse 1 and 4, when you do not live according to your sinful nature, but to the Spirit, then there's a guarantee that we are living for Christ and there's no condemnation. Now, point 3 of the conclusion. As long as we walk with God and show mercy towards others or toward others, we can be sure that God will be merciful to us on the day of judgment and will welcome us into the eternal glories of heaven. Once again, the rich man did not show mercy to Lazarus, so he was also not shown mercy. Here God is saying that if you show mercy, he can also show us mercy. So you do it and see what he will also do it for you. If you don't do it, you end up being the rich man. Now, point 4, being the last one. The sinless Son of God, meaning Christ, who came to save us, is being mocked by sinful men and treated as a criminal. Yes, Christ was mocked. But at the end, he showed them mercy. In Luke 23, verse 34. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Even though he was shown injustice, but he kept quiet. He didn't say anything because his accusers, his killers were ignorant. Why were they ignorant? Because they were mannequins. And as I'm saying, a mannequin is someone who is used for advertisement. So I call them Satan's mannequins. They are stupid and ignorant, who are daily running errands for Satan. They were stupid, means lacking intelligence, in a sense that at the end, they will still go to Tartarus and to hell. So this happens to be someone who is working so tiring. So tiring. You are working so hard, and at the end, they won't pay you. At the end, you become so stupid because you've been misled or cheated upon. So upon all what Satan used them to do, to kill Christ, they will still go to him to suffer. This makes you stupid person or dummy. So I call them Satan's mannequins. You are a mannequin, a dummy, a cartoon in which Satan is using you to manipulate or to destroy the world. And at the end, you see, this is the most annoying part. That at the end too, upon all what you are doing, upon all the killings that you've been killing for him, doing this and that, manipulating, your end is that you go with him or to him and suffer. But those who work for God will enjoy. In fact, already they are enjoying in paradise. If they are enjoying in paradise, if we are saying that paradise is equal to pleasantries, how much more heaven? So Jesus saw his killers were mannequins of Satan, and he had compassion on them. Yes, I said that a mannequin is someone who is ignorant because they didn't know what they were doing. That's why Christ had to pardon them. You will also see that Stephen will also pardon his accusers. When you go to, I think, the persecution on the church, we will go there. You see, normally those who are sinning, they might be forgiven, in fact, because they are just blindfolded. They have been brainwashed. They just don't know what they. So if you are in your church, and some have been being used for dirty works, my friend, sometimes you have to even pray for them, because they are stupid and ignorant. They lack intelligence, so they don't even know what they are doing. That's why Christ said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. All right, so we move on by saying that Jesus in 1 Peter 2 verse 21 always have been saying that he left us a pattern to forgive or to follow. He wants us to follow him. And today we have seen that even though he was wrongly accused, they spitted on him, but at the end of everything, he prayed to his Father. This means that he showed them mercy, because if he wanted vengeance, then there was no way he would have prayed, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. This is the highest form of showing mercy to your accusers. Someone who is killing you, someone who has already killed you, and yet you must show him mercy. So that's why we're saying that to show mercy is the biggest test. So huge that you forgive or pardon someone who poisoned you, but you didn't die. So if I were you, will you still eat with a person? For example, you ate with someone, and at the end you almost died. Before you were conscious, you were at the clinic, or you say, where am I? They say, oh, you were poisoned, and of course you are aware that you ate with Mr. So and so. God is saying that you should show mercy. Will you go and eat with the person again? Of course, you pardon the person, but there's no way the Bible is saying you should go and then eat with the person. Your duty is that you forgive and then you forget. But I will no longer sit and eat with you again. Of course, you are forgiven. So this does not mean that I should still invite you. No. That one is impossible. But here, Jesus is saying that we should show mercy. Remember that the rich man went to Tartarus because he did not show mercy. Mercy is empathy. Mercy is being in the shoes, in the heart. Assume that you are in the position of the poor person or the needy person. That is the mercy that Christ was teaching his followers. So having said that, thank you so much for your time. I am grateful. And I thank you for watching. Tomorrow, God's willing, we will continue with the 6th episode in Matthew 5 verse 8. Until then, I say, see you again tomorrow, and God be with you. I thank you so much. Bye-bye.